I'm Loren from Notarize. We found that the best way for you to see how Notarize works is to take you through the same process your borrowers will go through. So for today's demo, I'm going to be taking you through the signer experience. We'll go through the process of getting into the notary session, connecting with the notary, and signing all of the closing documents electronically. Every signing session starts with an email to the borrower, which you'll see on my screen here. There are 3 simple steps showing what the borrower needs to do, review every document, connect with our notary team, and 1 click to sign. Also, if you scroll down, we put in contact information for their broker, realtor, and title agent, as well as Notarize support. This helps provide all of the communication touchpoints they could possibly need, so all of the people involved in this transaction are available with 1 click while notary is in the video session with the borrower, which I'll show you in a moment. So when I click review and sign, this brings me to Notarize's portal where all the magic happens. You'll see below, it says you're scheduled to close online, where you can review documents and meet with an online notary. It says they have 4 documents to review before your meeting. We've scaled down this closing to 4 documents just for the purposes of this demo. So I'm going to scroll up and click Get Started. Before I'm actually able to see the lender documents, I need to confirm my borrower details. I'll quickly confirm these details. Everything looks good here, so I'll click Continue. So I'm taken to a screen where I can review the entire closing package. I'll do this before I actually meet with a notary, so I can look at my documents and ensure that everything makes sense and is aligned with what I agreed to. Just to reiterate, at this point, the borrower can review the documents only, isn't able to actually sign. But in just a few weeks, and if you're viewing this later, it would have happened in November 2018, we'll be launching a feature in which borrowers are able to sign certain documents ahead of the notary video meeting. You'll also see if I click on this document here, there are 4 documents for me to review, and there are 12 actions total required in terms of signing the documents. So I can navigate to other documents here as well, review those documents, scroll to the bottom, my closing disclosure, and click Next Doc, and it'll take me to the other documents to review. All right, so after I'm finished and comfortable with all the documents, I click Continue, and this brings me to the audio video check. So this is something that I would do before I move into the ID verification process. So before I do that, I need to go through a quick tech check to make sure my internet connection is strong and my audio and video are set up correctly. I'd like to point out here that if the signer doesn't have a webcam, they can click Continue on our app and get texted a link in which they can continue their transaction on their mobile device. Okay, so you're going to see me on the screen now. So that camera's working great. You can see these bars moving up. That means speaking at a normal volume, the notary will be able to hear me. This will ensure that I can hear the notary.
Notarize.
All right. Those devices are working great, and there's other ways to select other devices as well. This is checking my internet connection to make sure there's a strong enough connection to have that video session. And this just ensures there aren't any issues during the actual notary session. Once I'm done with that, I enter the identity verification stage. So the borrower has a 3-step process that they need to go through. First is knowledge-based authentication. So the signer will enter the last 4 digits of their social security number. All right. And then a series of security questions will pop up. In order to pass this step, the signer must answer 4 out of 5 questions right within 2 minutes. You'll see as I go through that there's a timer in the upper right-hand corner showing me how much time I have to answer. Also, it's worth noting that in the actual platform, we don't flag which answer is the correct answer, which you'll see here. So you'll see that time in the upper right-hand corner. So I have 2 minutes to go through these questions. So about 98% of signers get through this step with no problem. If they fail one time, they don't get 4 out of 5 correct, they'll have a second chance to go through in that instance. After that, there is a 24-hour lock in which the borrower wouldn't be able to go through and try it again. So what we do in that case, because usually the closing has to happen on that day, we contact title immediately and they help to arrange a in-person session. So I've successfully passed the challenge questions. I'm going to click Continue. And now we go to the other part of ID verification, which is my photo ID. So I'm going to click driver's license. And now I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the front and back of my ID. So our system goes through credential analysis to verify that the ID is correct as well. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of the back. I'm going to confirm confirm and continue. So we do have the ability to require 2 forms of ID as well, but for this transaction, it just required 1. So now that I've successfully passed identity verification, I can go ahead and connect with the notary.
Hello.
Hi. Now that I've connected with the notary, I want to give you an overview of what the signer is seeing. First, you'll see that I have a constant view of the notary in the upper left-hand corner, and the notary will maintain a similar view of me throughout the entire transaction. You'll also see the same documents that I reviewed previously, with an overview of how many actions I'm going to need to take in the upper right-hand corner. You'll also see the signer name in the lower left-hand corner, and if there was a second signer as part of this transaction, their name would also show up here, and the notary could pass the pen between both signers. You'll also see notary information here, David's name, the state he's commissioned in, and his commission number. And then in this area here, where it says connect, you'll see the broker, realtor, and title information, and you're able to dial out to those folks during the meeting. And with that, I'll hand it over to the notary.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is David Berner. I am not a licensed notary signing agent, but I'll just be playing one for today's demo here. For the real mortgage transactions we've got full and part-time notary signing agents that are based on premises. So every notarization we do here starts with an introductory script, something a little bit like this. Hello there, Mrs. McLovin, and welcome to Notarize. My name is David Berner, and I'm a commissioned electronic notary in the state of Texas. I am required to inform you that our audio-video session together will be recorded. So at this point, the notary is going to go ahead and inspect each signer's photo ID images in the full screen view. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I'm satisfied that that ID matches the signer and everything appears to be valid. So my next step as a notary is to ask a standard series of questions for the signer to answer on record. So Mrs. McLovin, are you participating in today's notarization freely and without coercion?
I am.
All right, and do you consent to engaging in an electronic transaction today and using your electronic signature as your binding signature on these documents?
I do.
All right, and if at any time during the process here you don't understand the contents of the document you're about to sign, just let me know so we can contact the lender or title agency for clarification. Does that sound good?
Yep, great.
Perfect. So the notary now go ahead and proceeds to the document signing of the closing. So each meeting that we do starts with a separate and distinct umbrella e-sign disclosure and consent form. Because this is an abridged version of the demo, I'm not going to ask Ms. McLovin here to read the whole thing. So Ms. McLovin, if you could go ahead and sign here at the bottom of the document.
Sure, and you'll see the notary pointer has pointed me there, that blue dot. So I just click.
All right, and we've got real-time synchronization here, so I can actually see the signature and the date on my end as they're being applied there by the signer. So now the document's signed, I'm going to go ahead and lock this individual document. And the reason we do this is, with every individual document in the package is because if the meeting needs to be ended before the entire package is complete for some reason, this functionality actually allows the signer to go ahead and pick up right where they left off. Additionally, this also tamper seals the document and also ensures that nothing's changed post-signature. So my next step is to guide our signer here to the closing disclosure. So Ms. McLovin here can scroll freely through the documents to review what she's signing here. The notary, that being me, however, I'm actually guiding the signer between documents to ensure all signatures, initials, and other information is completed on each document prior to moving to the next one. So Ms. McLovin, if you could go ahead and sign here at the bottom of page 5.
Sure. And just note that I don't need to recreate my signature every time.
I'll lock this document here as well, and we'll move on here to the exerted sample of a Virginia deed of trust. So our agents are going to give the borrower time to review, and once the borrower is comfortable, they can initial at each page and sign at the bottom of the document as well.
Yep, and then there's an actual special feature that was just launched on certain documents, actually for all the documents if you'd like, but that is especially valuable for the deed of trust. As you see, as I can scroll down and you can see where I have to put initials on every single document, you're actually able to view the document and then click acknowledge and sign as the signer. All of the initials will be filled in on every initial part of the document, as well as the signature at the last page.
Awesome. And now for what I would consider the most exciting part of the transaction here, I'll go ahead and apply my notarial seal. Since this is a demo, of course, we're not going to actually go ahead and fill out any of my commission information here. So here we go. And there it is. And again, I'll leave out the signature and everything as well. So I'll go ahead and lock this document as well. And we'll go ahead and move on to the final document, which is that electronic promissory note here.
Okay.
Perfect. And so if the borrower doesn't have any additional questions or concerns, the signing agent will conclude the session, and the documents will be processed and delivered for the lender and the signer within seconds here. So congratulations, Mr. McLevin, and thank you for using Notarize.
Great. Thanks, Werner. Bye.
See you later.